Capote, and we're back with another deck profile because guess what? I'm an idiot. I made a huge mistake, and I'm gonna explain it because I'm so sorry for those of you who have been using my profile, and I just realized that like at locals and even at some regionals that I've been in, I've been kind of hard cheating because the Marine Dolphin card, this thing. It doesn't come up too often because usually with the deck that I made, it doesn't really come up where you need to make Cross Crusader. But if you use this guy's effect, because if you look at the name here, it doesn't say hero anywhere in the name, and because hero cards kind of suck, the Cross Crusader, it has this stipulation where the turn that you activate his effects, yeah, you can't activate cards that aren't named hero monsters. So, oops. That was and which sucks because that was a really big part of the game plan of the real other deck. So I have changed the deck a little just to make sure that you guys aren't left with nothing. Because although it doesn't come up all the time with that other deck, it does come up sometimes, and in that sometimes, it's kind of really important to use Cross Crusader. So I actually changed the deck up and I'm going to present this. I'm not going to do a short version and a long version like I did before because I've uploaded like 3 hero deck profiles in the past 2 weeks and this is going to be like the third or fourth one and that's just too much. So I am going to just show you guys. I'm going to explain the stuff where I need to explain the stuff. But for those of you who have watched the profiles, and if you're watching this, you've probably watched the other profiles because that's just how it is. I'm just going to explain what the cards do and then move on, right? So let's get started with this. First, let's actually start off with the extra deck because there's some important stuff here. So first, we have double versions of Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader is a really good card, and unfortunately, the best extender we have in the deck, even though it sucks and makes so we can't use like the effects of non-hero monsters during that turn, which sucks because like the way I realized that was like a thing is because I hadn't been playing online. Like to test out the deck. I've been playing it locals at like regionals and stuff, and it was like, so uh, what was I doing? With Cross Crusader, I realized online, like, hey, why doesn't this work? And I was like, oh yeah, because Marine Dolphin's not a hero monster. That's unfortunate. And you'll see that this card, the next card that we're playing here, Lingaribo, is really important because I actually have been seeing a lot more Kashtira players and Sprite players play the Ibli lock. So if you're going to play at any competitive event, you got to be ready for that because the only real out that the deck has to the Ibli lock, besides this, is going to be normal summon Ferris, which kind of sucks. So we're playing the Lingaribo, we're playing Malicious Bane because I think it's really good. And now I'm gonna bring up a card that's coming out, which is Wake Up My Elemental Hero. And I feel like if you do want to play that card, I think it's really bad because it takes up a poly slot. It takes up like you have to use polymerization to use it, right? And I do play 2 poly in this deck, which is like fine, but uh if you don't want to play 2 poly and you're only playing 1 poly, using that poly to use Wake Up My E-Hero is kind of really bad because the best part of being able to poly into Sunrise and Absolute Zero is to be able to get materials on the field and to be able to get card advantage. But with Wake Up My E-Hero, you only get it the one time when you use Liquid Soldier or anything to go into Sunrise, which you don't really need to use Liquid Soldier anymore. And like Wake Up My Hero's big thing is that it can beat over monsters and like do a lot of damage, and then it gets you the um, the special summon when it's popped, right? But Bane basically does the same thing. It gets over monsters. It doesn't get you the special summon when it's popped, but it can't be destroyed, which makes it a lot more of a problem that your opponent has to answer to instead of just waiting for the battle phase and then doing their stuff. So you can't keep on going with your main phase. Whereas Bane, you can keep going with everything. So I think Bane is a better inclusion to the deck than the Wake Up My Hero, but that's just me. 1 Absolute Zero and 1 Master Hero Acid. Master Hero Acid I think is very cuttable. You don't need this card at all. I just like playing it because there's a lot of Labyrinth players in my locals, and sometimes you just want to clear their board because that's pretty good, I hear. So we play Absolute Zero and Acid. I think Acid and Acid is the most cuttable card in this. If you want to play something else, if you want to play through Cross Crusader, if you want to play Wake Up My Hero, cut Master Hero Acid. And I might be cutting Acid for something in the future. but we'll see. Then we have one Destiny Hero Dystopia. Especially now with the decks that are meta, be it branded, be it labyrinth, be it um, Castira, you're going to end up going into time a lot more than I'd like to, and most people would like to. So I included this because you can just poly or fusion destiny into this, and it just wins you the game if you go into time. Then we have two DPE because people are going to be getting rid of your DPE, and everyone has an answer for this card because of they have to, because everything else in the format basically does the same thing. Not does the same thing, but has the same outs as DPE, right? So they're going to be playing it, and it's going to suck when you can't go into another one. Then Wonder Driver. Wonder Driver I think is really cool. It's less important. Wonder Driver and Acid I think are the two most cuttable cards, especially because I play two poly in deck. But it still comes up sometimes, and I play it because of that. But if you want to cut any two cards in the extra deck, I think those two would be the best ones to do so. Then we have the Sunrise. Now, Wake Up My E Hero verse Absolute Zero. The reason why I don't like Wake Up My Hero is because the only thing that it does is in the battle phase, so you can't keep going after your plays, and it's not something that your opponent's going to care about, especially because, like, yeah, it can gain attack and it can clear things, but it's not a good card. And if it's destroyed, it summons. Yeah, but what are you going to summon? Like, yeah, Shadow Mist, but you already have a million ways of summoning Shadow Mist and special summoning Shadow Mist, and you most likely already used its other effect in your combo. So, Wake Up My Hero, kind of a bad card, and that's just what I think. Then we have two Master Dark Law and Dread Decimator. I know it's really funny that I'm playing this card, but it actually comes up a lot. Getting that extra damage, or maybe even baiting something out by putting all those monsters on the field and then having to get rid of it because there's just a lot of attack on the field, and this card's the reason for it. They just have to get rid of it, and that's kind of rough. And now let's go into the main deck. So first we have three copies of Stratos. It's the best starter in your deck, especially with what's it called, the Eon Shuffle being in the mix. Then we have two copies of Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is good for special summoning and getting mass change, or also just getting an extra search in the late game or on your turn. One Liquid Soldier for the advantage that it generates. One Honest Neos because it is still a good card, and it's a target for fusion, the second or third fusion destiny if you need to later on. Then we have two Ferris, one Increase, and two Vion, because Vion is a really good card, but I think the other ones are just, they're good, but they're all searchable and they're all kind of lackluster. You'd rather, like, if you open it, great, but you don't really need to open it. You can do enough with the other parts of the deck, I think. Usually it's just an extra thing or a way to bait out like a Nibiru or something. Then we have two Destiny Hero Malicious, one Dark Angel. Dark Angel hoses Despia, which is why I haven't taken it out. It's also a second way to go into DPE once you have that Fusion Destiny. Then we have Denier because Denier is probably the best Destiny here in the deck. Plasma is going to be your main gameplay. I am looking to get my hands on some D forces, test that out a little. I think it's not going to make it in the way in the side deck because a lot of the cards that people are playing, like Book of Eclipse, like Nibiru, they both clear Plasma while D Force is on the field, which is just, I think, a little bit redundant. But I would like more ways to get into Plasma, which is why I'm thinking of playing it. Just more ways to search it out instead of just using one of your normal searches. Having that extra card in your hand is going to be really useful, especially if you're really stuck and need to go into DPE and have to use Plasma somehow. Then we have two Nibiru. Two Nibiru is for the crossout package, but also because Kashtira is really, really annoying, and I've realized that. So this deck is more geared towards beating Kashtira because it's kind of unfair what they can do. Then we have the one Adjusted Gold to go into Bane. Then we have two End Shuffle. This card is not nearly as important as it was before because we're not going to the hand rip, because all you can really do is get it helps on brick hands. If you only have Shadow Mist, you can normal summon Shadow Mist, Eon Shuffle, and then go into Stratos. But it no longer draws you a card because we're not playing Neos, and it really only gets you into Dark Law when you like think Dark Law is a better option. So like against Branded Despia, when you go for the DPE, Dark Law, and Dark Angel, it's just easier to get into Dark Law that way. Then we have three Fusion Destiny because it's busted. Then two E Emergency Call because seeing Stratos and seeing Shadow Mist less so, but seeing Stratos is always just amazing. So having that E Emergency Call, or even just searching the Honest Neos, 2 Mass Change because I don't think it's as important as it has always been, then 1 Miracle Fusion, 1 Dark Calling, 2 Poly. I think this is actually really important, especially with all the things that all the banishes that Kashtira gets. It's just really, really important to be able to go into more fusion plays, to go into more plays later on in the game, and this really lets you do it, especially with Vion in the deck. 3 of Hero Lives, because it's still it's not a good card, but it's the best card we have. And then 1 Reinforcing the Army, 2 Book of Eclipse, and 3 Crossout Designator. So Book of Eclipse is in here because I've seen a lot of people playing it, and it's a really good card, but mainly it's in here for the crossouts, and I'm playing 2 of each of them because not only are they good against Kashtira, so opening it isn't bad, but also because not because opening it and then not having another copy in deck to cross out is really bad this format, because Nibiru and Book of Eclipse hose our decks, especially when everything just ends up getting banished later on with Kashtira and our zones end up getting locked up. So being able to keep that Plasma on field, being able to keep that Dark Law and Dark Angel on field is really important. So 3 crossout I think is vital. And yeah, that is the deck. I'm really sorry about that mistake. I don't know how I went so long without realizing it. Usually maybe it didn't come up in regionals and that's why I didn't notice it, but literally no one spoke out about it at all. Maybe it's because they don't know heroes, and I didn't even notice it. I was just like, yeah, Marine Dolphin, that's a hero monster. So, my bad. But also, why doesn't Cross Crusader let you do it while activating Marine Dolphin? That seems like such a just missed opportunity for me. That's just, why do hero cards have to be bad? But anyway, that's all. And also I recently got introduced to like an artist person type thing that actually is willing to make custom art for playmats and sleeves, and I got this really cool playmat which is just like all my favorite little starters from Pokemon as elemental heroes. So it's got Squirtle as Bubble Man, it's got Shanks as Spark Man, it's got Turtwig as Clayman, and it's got Torchic as Burstinatrix, and I think it's the greatest thing ever. So I'm gonna put her link down in the description below, and she said that she'd be willing to do some stuff like thumbnails, or maybe even just like for when I do my gameplay videos, like little sleeves that I can put on the cards, just so you guys can see what the art is like. And if you like it, then leave her a message. I'll leave the link in the description below. And also, feel free to join the Discord if you want to just have any questions, or just want a little Yu-Gi-Oh community or whatever, or just leave a message in the comments if you have any questions about the deck, if you want to make fun of me for making such a horrible and big mistake that like based the whole deck around an interaction that doesn't work, but anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a great day. This is my favorite toy. She's a little bit bored of it right now because I've been playing with her for like an hour. But oh, there it is, there she is. She got what she went for it. Look at that kitty. Look at that kitty going for things. She's trying to keep it. She's pulling it down. Oh, there it is. Oh, she got it back again. Little kitty. Oh, little kitty.